I married a billionaire, but he left me for my sister. So I got revenge. If fairy tales were written in gold, mine would have started that Saturday. The wedding was nothing short of legendary. White orchids flew in from Singapore. My gown, a custom Elisab, sparkled like the morning sun. We had a 7-tier cake, each tier infused with champagne and diamonds. And the guests? From governors to global billionaires, they all came. As I stood at the altar of Eco Pearl Tower, waiting for my billionaire groom, Richard Obi, my heart felt like it would burst from joy. He walked in like a prince from a dream. Tall, sharp jawline, dark glass skin that shimmered like black silk, a tuxedo tailored in Paris, eyes that burned through souls. When he held my hands, I almost cried. "You're mine now, Zina," he whispered. "Forever." And I believed him. Everyone stood. Cameras clicked. Flowers danced. Then I saw her. My younger sister, Amaka. She arrived late, wearing red. Fire red. Fitted, backless, shimmering. I blinked twice. Who wears red to a wedding? Especially her sister's wedding? She walked in like she owned the place. Smiled at Richard. He smiled back too easily. Too long. Something in my stomach flipped. But I smiled and waved, convincing myself it was nothing. "It's just nerves, Zina. Nothing is wrong." That was my second mistake. Richard whisked me away to Santorini on a private jet. We stayed in a glass villa suspended over the sea. He gave me a diamond anklet and said it matched my soft life energy. We made love every night like time would end. He bought me a Chanel bag just because I sighed near the store window. Every morning breakfast came with flowers. Every night the sea whispered our names. I was in love. Fully. But at night, sometimes he would step out to take midnight calls. I never questioned it. I trusted him. He's busy. He's a billionaire. That was my third mistake. 2 weeks after the honeymoon, Richard told me he was going on a 3-day trip to Kenya for a tech conference. I packed his bags, kissed him goodbye. That night, I called Amaka just to chat. Her voice sounded distracted, muffled. I asked, "Where are you?" She hesitated, then said, "Out with friends." But I could hear the same deep jazz music Richard played in his Lagos apartment. I brushed it off. I shouldn't have. 3 weeks later, Richard threw a business cocktail party. He said it was strictly business. No plus ones. So I stayed home. Amaka posted a picture that night. She was on a yacht, beside a man in a tuxedo. The angle was blurred, but I recognized the Rolex. It was Richard's. I stared at the photo all night, refreshing, trying to see more. In the morning, the post was gone. I asked him about it. He smiled. It was photoshopped. She plays too much. I laughed, pretending I believed. But my heart began to grow cold. By the 3rd month, Richard had become distant. No more breakfast flowers. No more Santorini promises. Only late nights, business trips, and secretive texts. One evening, I waited in the dining room for dinner with him. I wore the red silk dress he said he loved. He came in, eyes heavy, loosened his tie, and walked straight past me. "Babe, let's do dinner tomorrow. I'm drained." I nodded, swallowed the tears. He didn't even look back. I felt like a ghost in my own mansion. That night, I checked his iPad, and what I saw made my skin crawl. It was just an accident. Richard forgot to lock his iPad. I only wanted to check the calendar for his trip date, just to surprise him with a dinner. But what I found was a hidden folder named Red. I tapped it. Videos, pictures, audio files. All of them, Amaka. In lingerie. On our bed. In my car. In the jacuzzi. There was a recording of them laughing. Her voice giggling. "She's too soft, Richard. You need a woman who knows how to handle your kind of money." His reply? "I married her for the public. You're the real deal." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stared at the screen as my whole world shattered. That night, I waited up for him. When he walked in, I didn't shout. I simply said, "Why her, Richard? Of all women, why my sister?" He looked at me, blinked once, then laughed. He laughed. "Zina, you're acting like this is Nollywood. You're lucky I even married you." I froze. He walked to the bar, poured himself whiskey, Sat down. You're classy, soft. Good for image. But you're boring, Zina. Amaka brings fire. Real fire. I was shaking. I gave up everything for you. He cut in. And that was your first mistake. 2 days later, I received an email from his lawyer. Subject: separation terms. No explanation. No warning. I was to vacate the Banana Island house in 72 hours. My cards were blocked. The car keys taken. Even the house staff stopped answering me. I called him. He didn't pick. I called my parents. They said, Amaka told us you cheated. That's why he kicked you out. I laughed in disbelief. Even my family turned against me. In the middle of the night, I packed my things. Only one bag. I left behind the wedding dress, the gifts, the memories. Everything. I moved into a BQ in Surelier. No generator. Mosquitoes danced like demons. That first night, I curled up in bed and cried. I cried so hard I almost choked. And in that darkness, one thought burned in my head. You will rise, Zina. And you will rise louder than their betrayal. I picked up my broken self the next day. I reached out to my old university mentor, Professor Tade. Told him about my old app idea. A fintech solution for women in rural trade. He said, Zina, this is gold. Why did you ever drop it? Because Richard said it was a waste of time. He laughed. Then that means it's probably brilliant. That day, we began building Lioness Pay, a mobile app by women for women. I pitched my idea to a silent investor in Dubai. He said nothing for 3 weeks. Then on a Monday morning, I got an alert. 150 million Nigerian naira seed funding. I screamed and fell on the floor. Lioness Pay went live. By the 3rd month, we had 70,000 active users. Women selling yams in Jos. Pepper traders in ABA. Textile dealers in Kano. All thriving. All empowered. And the world started watching. One day, I got a WhatsApp message from Amaka. Photo of her in a pool, wearing my old Cartier bracelet. Some people shine, some people stink. I guess you're the latter. I didn't reply, but I screenshotted it. Because I was planning something bigger. You see, Richard had a weakness. One I knew deeply. He hated taxes. Always found shortcuts. And I had proof. Emails. Receipts. Secret conversations I had recorded. By accident. So I started buying quiet shares in his company. 1 per month. Small, silent purchases through my Dubai connection. And all the while, Lioness Pay was eating his user base alive. But I wasn't done. The real revenge was coming soon. 1 year later, I received an invitation. Nigerian Fintech and Wealth Leaders Gala. Exclusive Billionaire Circle. I laughed. Lioness Pay had gone global. I was now a Forbes featured CEO. I wore a deep emerald gown with thigh-high slit and diamond shoulder drape. Hair in a sleek bun. Red lips. Confidence like thunder. I entered the Civic Center, and silence followed. People whispered, "Is that Zina Obi?" No, she's hotter now. Richard was at the VIP table. Amaka beside him in a tired wig and swollen face. He stood when he saw me. I smiled like a queen who forgave peasants. The MC paused mid-speech. Let us honor one of the most successful female fintech CEOs in Africa. Founder of Lioness Pay. A phoenix. A vision. A warrior, Zina Obi. Richard choked on his wine. Amaka's face collapsed. I stood, walked up and owned the room. I spoke directly into the mic. To every woman ever discarded. You are not trash. You are the gold they'll regret losing. The room erupted. I didn't look at them, but I felt their shame melt into the floor. 2 weeks later, the Nigerian Financial Authority launched an audit on Richard's company. All evidence traced back to my quiet tip. The shell accounts. Tax evasion. Bribery. Stocks fell. Partners pulled out. He lost 2 billion Nigerian nairas in 3 days. And just as he tried to fight back, he was served papers. I had bought 49% of his company. He was now my junior partner. He called me in a rage. Zina, you evil witch. You set me up. No, Richard. I just cleaned up the mess you made. Remember the separation papers? Well, we never finalized the divorce legally. Meaning his wealth during the lioness pay years? I had a legal stake. I filed a fresh divorce, with claim to 35% of his frozen assets. Court ruled in my favor. He fainted on the court steps. Amaka tried to confront me outside. She shouted, "You destroyed him. We loved each other." I laughed in her face. "You loved his wallet. And now it's mine." I bought the Banana Island mansion back. Refurbished it. I threw a rebirth party, with only strong women and orphan girls. We danced. We feasted. We told our stories. I turned the master bedroom into a study. No man would ever rule my house again. On the wall, I wrote in bold gold letters, "Broken women build empires." 3 months later, I received a handwritten note. "Zina, I lost everything. I was wrong. Please can we talk? Richard." I burned the letter. Posted a video on Instagram instead. Me, in a silk robe. Champagne. Balcony view. Caption, "Never beg for love. Become the love they'll never recover from." The world clapped. And that is how I got my revenge. Not with blood, but with brilliance. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Tales by Amma, like and share this story and comment your thoughts. I'll be in the comments. Bye for now.